When my sister got her bonus, she threw a family brunch just to say, "This is what winning looks like." I laughed it off until she pulled out a check and said, "I'm buying Dad's house. You can take the couch or the curb." I slept in my car that night. 3 weeks later, she called me crying because she didn't read the fine print I wrote into the sale contract. Alright, I never thought I'd be the type to post something like this, but this whole thing played out like something out of a courtroom drama, and I need to tell someone. So here goes. I'm 36. My sister, Erica, is 38. We grew up in Owensboro, Kentucky, with a single dad after our mom passed when we were kids. I won't pretend we had a perfect life, but we made it work. Dad worked as a high school teacher for over 30 years and raised us the best he could. Erica and I were close as kids, but after high school, things started to split. She got a scholarship to Vanderbilt. I stayed in state and went to Murray State. She moved to Louisville and climbed the ladder at some big marketing firm. I bounced around jobs, warehouse, HVAC tech, small gigs. Nothing fancy, but I always paid my rent and called Dad every Sunday. She called maybe twice a year. Now, fast forward to last October. Dad passed away. It wasn't sudden. He had heart problems. But it still hit hard. I was the one who had been taking care of him those last 2 years. I moved back into his house when he started having issues with walking and remembering things. I handled his meds, his food, his bills. Erica sent money for groceries once in a while, but rarely visited. When he died, I was the one who found him. He had a will. He left the house to both of us, 50-50. But he also left a letter, handwritten, dated, signed. He said he wanted me to have the house. He said I'd earned it. Erica didn't care. She came down for the funeral, cried at the service, and then went back to Louisville like nothing happened. She didn't even ask how I was doing. Then, about a month later, I get a text from her. "Coming down Saturday. Got big news." Saturday rolls around. She books a table for brunch at this trendy little bistro downtown, someplace Dad would have hated, by the way. Our cousin Ray and Denise and a few family friends show up. Erica's wearing a brand new blazer, full of fake excitement, hugging everyone. She makes this big speech, starts thanking people for supporting her journey. Says she just got promoted to VP of strategy or something and got a massive bonus. She's glowing, and everyone's clapping. Then she pulls a check from her purse and waves it around. Says, "I'm buying Dad's house today." Everyone goes quiet. Then she looks straight at me and says, loud enough for the whole table to hear, "You can take the couch or the curb." I stared at her. I didn't say a word. I just smiled. Because what she didn't know is that I already drew up the first draft of the sale contract. She had asked me to. She said, "Let's save on lawyer fees. Just use a basic template, and I'll have my guy look over it before we sign." I used a standard contract, all right. But I added one little clause. Buyer agrees to maintain existing tenancy for 6 months following the date of transfer, during which seller retains full access and residency rights at no cost. She signed it. Never read it. Her lawyer either didn't read it or didn't care. After brunch, she hands me the check. She says she's already transferred the title. I hand her the paperwork. We get it notarized that same day. She gives me until Monday to pack my things. I slept in my car that night. On purpose. Right in the driveway. With the engine off and the windows down. Just to make a point. She moved in the following week, all proud of herself. Had painters coming in, a contractor talking about knocking down walls. She changed out the locks, but I still had my key. And legally, she couldn't stop me. So I started coming back during the day. Making lunch. Using the shower. Sitting in the living room watching old reruns of Cops on the TV she bought. She'd get home from work and just stare at me. "You need to go," she said once. Nope. I'm still a tenant. 3 weeks later, she called me crying. Like sobbing. Apparently, her contractor said they couldn't start any of the renovation work until I was no longer a legal occupant. She tried switching insurance providers, and they refused coverage while I was still in the house. She even tried refinancing, got rejected for the same reason. That's when she finally read the contract. She called me and screamed into the phone. "You tricked me?" I said, "No. You signed it. I just wrote what was fair." I moved back in last week. Full time. I even brought my old dog, Max, back with me. He's got a bad leg and barks at the vacuum she just bought. Her boyfriend stopped coming around. Said it was too chaotic. Now she's stuck. She owns a house she can't live in, and I've got 3 more months to enjoy it without paying a dime. And here's the kicker. I told her I'm willing to move out early, but only if she buys out my half of the house. At double the original price. She hasn't said yes yet, but she will, because she doesn't have a choice. She didn't answer right away when I gave her the new price. She hung up, then sent a long, angry text about how I was manipulating her and how Dad would be ashamed of me. I didn't reply. Instead, I stayed in the house like nothing happened. I grilled on the back patio, used the new espresso machine she brought in, which I didn't ask for, and started sleeping in the master bedroom. The same one Dad used. The one Erica wanted to gut for a walk-in closet. 2 days later, I got a call from some guy named Nate. Said he was a real estate lawyer out of Louisville. Erica had hired him to try and get me out. He tried to sound professional, but I could hear it in his voice. He wasn't sure of his footing. He said something like, "We're prepared to move forward with legal proceedings if you don't vacate." I cut him off. Clause 9b. Residency for 6 months, no rent. Signed and notarized. He went quiet, then said, "We'll be in touch." They didn't call back. Instead, things got weird. I'd wake up and find the thermostat turned down to 50. My food in the fridge would be moved or thrown out. One time, I found ground coffee poured all over my clean laundry in the dryer. Passive-aggressive little moves. Stuff only she or someone she sent would do. No one else had a key. I installed a small camera in the hallway. Nothing fancy. I caught her sneaking in at 2 a.m. The next night, stomping through the kitchen like a damn raccoon, slamming drawers and tossing a stack of my paperwork on the floor. I texted her the clip with one line. "Trespassing while angry is still trespassing." No response. But the game stopped after that. Instead, she changed tactics. She started visiting family one by one, trying to turn them against me. She told them I was squatting, that I tricked her out of the house, and that I was being cruel during one of the most stressful times in her life. Cousin Ray called me. Said, "Man, what's going on? Erica's saying you're trying to rob her blind." I invited him over, sat him down, showed him everything, Dad's letter, the contract, the clause with Erica's signature right next to it. Ray let out a low whistle. "She really didn't read this?" "Nope. She's gonna lose it when she finds out I know." She already lost it. I didn't hear much from Ray after that. But 2 days later, Aunt Denise called me. Said, "Don't let her bully you. Your father would have been proud." So maybe she wasn't winning the family over like she thought. Then things really turned. A man knocked on the door late one night. Said he was from the county. Asked to come in. Said there had been an anonymous complaint about illegal occupancy and unauthorized short-term rentals. I showed him my ID, the deed, the contract, the clause. He looked embarrassed. "Sorry to bother you," he said. "It happens." The next day I got a letter taped to the front door. Code enforcement. Same stuff. Anonymous report. Accusations about housing violations, noise complaints. Nothing stuck. Because nothing was true. Erica was getting desperate. I called her. "You're sending people to the house now. I don't know what you're talking about. You think you can drown me in trouble because you're embarrassed you didn't read a damn paragraph?" Silence. Then she said something I didn't expect. "I just wanted something that was mine. I worked hard. You didn't even want the house until I lived in it." Another pause. Then she hung up again. 2 days later, Nate the lawyer emailed me a new offer. Higher price. Still not enough. I ignored it. Then Erica tried something low. She posted online some local Facebook group about me. Didn't use my name, but described everything just enough that anyone who knew us could tell. She called me a mooch brother, a parasite, emotionally abusive. Someone screenshotted it and sent it to me. I was shaking. So I made my own post. I used her words, line by line, and broke down each lie with proof. The letter from Dad. The contract with her signature. The clause. I ended it with, I didn't steal anything. I followed the rules. She just didn't read them. By the next morning, the post had over 200 comments. People started turning on her. Even people from her company, judging by the usernames. One said, "So this is how our VP treats family?" I didn't feel good. But I didn't feel bad either. Because she started this. And I still wasn't done. 3 days after I posted my side of the story, Erica showed up at the house again, this time unannounced, no text, no warning. She looked different. Not put together like usual. No blazer, no designer bag. Just sweatpants and a hoodie, hair tied back in a messy bun, sunglasses even though it was cloudy. She didn't knock. She used her key. I was in the kitchen. She walked in, stood by the fridge and said, "We need to talk." I kept washing dishes. About what? About you ruining my life. I turned off the faucet and dried my hands slowly. I could feel my jaw tighten. You ruined your own life when you tried to screw me out of Dad's house. She slammed her hand on the counter. You didn't have to go public. Do you know how many people messaged me? My boss saw it. HR got involved. I just stared at her. And she stared back, breathing heavy. I got suspended. Indefinitely. I raised my eyebrows. Then you finally know what it feels like to lose something you thought you controlled. I didn't mean for it to get this bad, okay? She said, her voice cracking. I was angry. I thought you were just trying to milk it. You said take the couch or the curb. She looked down. I was showing off. I didn't think you'd fight back. I walked over and pulled out the contract again, same one she signed. I slid it across the counter. You have 2 options, I said. Wait out the next 2 months, or buy me out at the number I gave you. Not $1 less. I don't have it, she muttered. I tilted my head. What about that bonus you bragged about? She winced. Gone. That caught me off guard. Gone where? She didn't answer right away. Then, very quietly, she said, I used it to pay off my condo. And credit cards. And I put a down payment on a Tesla. Of course she did. She was house poor. Car poor. Bonus gone. Job on the line. And stuck with a house she couldn't live in. That should have been enough. But it wasn't. Because then later that week, I got a call from a number I didn't recognize. Some woman with a tight voice said she was with a local property firm. Said Erica was considering selling the house. Asked if I would be willing to relocate early. I nearly laughed. Only if you're paying me double what she owes me. The woman didn't blink. That won't be possible. Then I guess I'll enjoy my 2 more months. But that got me thinking. Erica was trying to sell the house. Without telling me. While I was still legally living in it. I went digging. Pulled the public records. She'd listed the house under a different LLC name. Not in her personal name. She was trying to offload it quietly, probably to make it look like it wasn't a mess. So, I did something petty. But legal. I printed flyers. Basic ones. Home for sale. Occupied by legal tenant. No renovations permitted. 6-month lease active. Ask about residency clause before bidding. Then I went to the open house. Yep. She'd scheduled one. Without telling me. On a Saturday. I sat on the porch, smiling. Greeted everyone who showed up. Told each visitor, "Hi, I'm the current resident. You'll need to wait 2 months before you can do anything to the place." Most of them left right after that. A few asked questions. One guy even said, "Oh, hell no," and walked back to his car. Erica didn't show her face that day. But I know she heard about it. The next day, the listing disappeared. That night, I found an envelope under the front door. No note. Just a bank check inside. It was the full buyout. My price. But no name on it. No agreement signed. Just the money. I left it on the counter. She still needed to ask properly. I didn't touch the check. I left it there on the counter for 3 full days. I figured if Erica really wanted to end this the right way, she'd come to me herself, not just slide money under a door, like I was a damn stray cat she was trying to feed and forget. She finally came by on the 4th night. No warning, no message, just walked in again with her key. She looked even worse than last time. Eyes red, like she hadn't slept in days. Hair stringy, her expensive nails chipped. She didn't speak right away, just looked at the check sitting on the counter, then at me, standing in the kitchen, still holding the same cup of black coffee I'd made when I heard her key in the lock. "I brought the money," she said quietly. "I saw," I replied. Silence hung between us like a rope. "I need you to sign the release and leave," she added. I shook my head slowly. "Not until we talk about what really happened," she scoffed. "What more do you want? I gave you everything you asked for." "No," I said firmly. "You never gave me what I deserved. Not once. You steamrolled Dad's death, pushed me out of my home, then tried to bury me in lawyers, cops, and online lies. You made me feel like trash in my own house." Her mouth opened, but I cut her off. "I cleaned his bedpan," I said. "I shaved his face when his hands stopped working. I listened to him cry in his sleep. And you? You sent flowers on his birthday." She started to cry again. "I know I messed up," she said through tears. "I didn't think. I was jealous, okay? Dad loved you more at the end. You were all he talked about. And I hated how that felt. That hit me harder than I expected." I didn't say anything. After a while, she walked over and pushed the check toward me. "I can't take another hit," she said. "I lost my job. HR said I might not be coming back. The board's watching me now. People at work are still whispering. Some clients dropped us. I don't even want the house anymore. I just want this over." That's when I realized something. I'd won. Not just legally. Not just financially. I'd taken everything she built her image on and stripped it away without ever laying a hand on her. No shouting matches.
No threats.
Just truth. Cold and documented. But I wasn't innocent either. I knew that. I'd let it go too far. I'd enjoyed watching her crumble. I'd let the bitterness settle into my bones like poison. I used her arrogance against her, and I didn't regret it, but I knew I wasn't clean. I picked up the check. Then I walked to the table drawer and pulled out the release form I had drafted a week ago, just in case. I signed it. Quietly. Carefully. Then I slid it across the counter. "We're done," I said. She nodded, tearfully, took the paper, grabbed her bag, walked out. This time, she didn't slam the door. I moved out 2 days later. Used the money to buy a small fixer-upper on the other side of town. Nothing fancy, but it's mine. All mine. Erica sold the house for a loss a month later. She never fixed it, never moved in, just dumped it to the first cash buyer who'd take it. We don't talk much anymore. Holidays are quiet. Cousin Ray tried to reconnect us once, but it didn't stick. I don't hate her, but I don't miss her either. Sometimes I drive past Dad's old place. The new owners have painted it blue and cut down the oak tree he loved. And I think about how fast people forget what matters. Erica wanted to win so bad, she forgot what the game was. And me? I won. But I still lost something I'll never get back. And that's the thing about revenge. It always costs more than you expect.